There we go. Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having brilliant, fantastic, amazing days as always. Today here on YouTube, I'm breaking down another commonly asked question from inside the Discord community group chat, which I've got up here on the left-hand side in my notes, which is how to find a prop firm. Okay, a few tips and tricks. If I can, give any recommendations on things to look for, things to consider from my own personal experience. So yeah, let's break down this here in a few simple, short, concise bullet points and just run it through. So essentially, if you don't know what a prop firm is, let me break down that first. I've got loads of other videos on here on YouTube about prop firms. I think prop firms are super exciting. I think they're amazing. It's awesome that this opportunity is about. Prop firms, if you don't know what they are essentially companies that fund capital to traders. So retail traders, as we like to call it, individual traders, people that are trading on their laptops, their phones, they're not working for a hedge fund, they're not working for a bank, they're retail traders, okay? They're individual traders, can access capital of up to $2 million, okay? And I'm sure that will extend, they'll expand even further in the future to greater and bigger numbers, which is awesome, which is really exciting. But essentially, you can get accounts from as small as 10, 15, 25K, all, as I said, up to $2 million, if you compound them all together, which is awesome. So let me break it down because there are so many different prop firms that have sprung to life that have come to the space. One of the main, market leading dominant ones has been FTMO. Okay, FTMO have been around for numerous years now. But within the last couple of years, especially, there have been more and more and more prop firms that have sprung to life. If I name a few, FTMO, as I just mentioned, the prop trading, the funded trader, Ment funding, 5%ers, true Forex funds, the list goes pretty much on and on. There are loads of them. And like Forex brokerages, as soon as one market leading dominant one has kind of set the trend, everyone kind of bases their pricing, the experience that you get off of these market leading ones. So a lot of them are carbon copies of FTMO with essentially slightly cheaper pricing, slightly better payouts, percentages, etc. A few things are slightly better. But I'm going to break down a few of the really key important things that I think are important, to take into consideration when finding that prop firm for you that suits you. So a little bit about my personal experience before, as I mentioned, previously on other YouTube videos. I'm now 800K as of the moment funded with a few of the different prop firms. So 800K funded in total. Hopefully, I'm looking to expand that by the end of the year. By the end of the year, looking to have 2 million in funding, spread across a few of the different prop firms. Because as I'll mention it further, later on down in the video, I like a lot of the prop firms. It's not just one in particular. And I think, diversifying and spreading risk across a few different prop firms is great, because we have seen over the last year, a few of the prop firms decline and go under. So it's really important to spread risk. So I'll jump through that in, the future points, but essentially I'm 800K funded. It's not always been that way. When I first started out, I was, getting into the trading space. Prop firms were still a thing back then. And, I failed quite a few of the accounts because, essentially I just didn't have the right strategy, the right psychology, the right anything put in place to actually get funded and get approved and get through that stage one and that stage two, challenge and verification. But now, the accounts are rolling in and, hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be looking to have, 2 million in, funded capital, which will be awesome. So that's the goal for the end of the year. And, once we hit that, it'll be brilliant. So let me get up this notepad that I've got my bullet points on. Let me move it over to the right side so I can actually see it a little bit better. So let's go through the bullet points. How to find a prop firm that suits you. These are my thoughts from my experience. So the first one that I've kind of raised to talk about is not to focus on the percentages of the payout or the cost of the challenges. Okay. Whilst I know this is what gets more people through the door, and of course it makes it more affordable for people, it entices people to, to buy a challenge under another prop firm versus, some of the more expensive ones. I understand. And of course, it's nice to feel like you're going to get a bigger chunk of that, that payout that you're going to make. So, some prop firms are now offering 90%, 95%. I even saw the 5%ers are offering, they're doing a new trial on a 100% payout system, which, seems crazy, which seems awesome. And of course, people want to get involved in that because it's a new thing. whereas some of the other prop firms, some of the older ones, because they've got more brand reputability, they don't need to give out more, percentages in payouts. They don't need to go to those crazy numbers like 90, 95%. They can stick at 70, 80. But I think there's something really crucial and key here is that whilst that seems appealing to start, with a firm that's cheaper, got a better payout, got to think about brand reputability. And I think that's way more important. That holds way more value, because once you do get funded, of course, you want to keep the funding. Okay, you don't want to lose it. So, unfortunately, we've had, numerous prop firms that have actually gone down over the last year, because they weren't sustainable. They weren't running sustainable models. They were running systems that were paying out the losing traders fees to the winning traders. And of course, once they had more winning traders, payouts than they did losing traders coming through and still, running up the money with failed challenges, they went bust. So ultimately, you want to be part of a sustainable system, a company that's large enough that it's going to be able to hold, your capital, it's going to be able to hold your profit, and you're still going to be able to get monthly withdrawals. Because at the end of the day, as I've just said, it took me, a good period of time, good, few months of failed challenges to actually get funded. Now, if I'd gone through that process, failed loads of challenges, got funded, and then, only have 2 months worth of payouts, I might not be, as I said, net positive. I might be net negative, which, makes no sense. And of course, we want to build up this capital, scale it up over the years and the years and the years. And, in 5 years' time, who knows where I'll be with, personal capital and with, prop funded capital. It could be crazy if we've got loads of new prop firms come out and this is still going to be a system that's in play, and sustainable in the future. Who knows how much capital, retail traders like you and I can have. So I think focus on brand reputability. You want to be with a brand that's going to stick there for years, not a company that's going to come and go within months and be gone by the end of the year and by the time that you get funded. So that's the first thing. And I also said here, I noted the fact that prop firms at the moment don't need regulation. Okay, it's really important to go with brand reputability. Brokers need brokers, so Forex brokerages need regulation. Okay, because they're accepting client deposits, and you're trading through them. Okay, and you're getting withdrawals of live money, and you're depositing live money. Whereas with prop firms, they don't need regulation as of this stage because you are essentially paying for a service. Okay, so you're paying for the chance to prove yourself as a trader. So because that comes underneath service, and essentially prop firms are not accepting deposits. Okay, they kind of are. It's kind of the same thing, but regulation doesn't see it that way. They don't, as of the moment, need regulation, and that probably will change in the future. But as of the moment, they don't. So I think one thing that you need to go off is that if these brands and these prop firms were to close tomorrow, they're not really going to have any backlash from it. Okay, that's the point that I'm trying to get to, is that they don't have any regulation that holds them to accord and account. And you want to make sure that the prop firm is also going to be doing the right thing by you. You don't want a prop firm that's going to be doing shady things, and I'll come on to that in the future. I've got another point down below about hidden rules, so I'll discuss those in a bit of depth in a little bit. But you don't want a shady prop firm, just like you wouldn't want a shady brokerage. You're going to choose a brokerage like I did my other video, TTT Markets, Pepperstone, Vantage FX, Oanda. You're going to have prop firms. You're going to want prop firms that are going to have been around for a long period of time, just like you would want a brokerage. You want a brokerage that's been established, that's been running for a long period of time. It's got lots of trading volume. It's got lots of clients, lots of deposits, withdrawals, etc., etc. You want all of that. So you want that with a prop firm as well. So you want customer support that's good. You want withdrawals, and you want to see all of that within that prop firm. And because they don't require regulation, it's really important that you go with one that's got as much brand reputability as you can. And for me, sacrificing a slight percentage payout, sacrificing a slight, increase in cost for the challenge is worth it. So that's my first thing. Second thing is, the founders of the prop firm, the people behind this. I think that's really important as well to look into. There's lots and lots and lots of YouTube videos with interviews of these, prop firm owners. Perhaps in the future, we'll get someone here as well, to break down their prop firms, because I think, I'm so heavily interested and involved in prop firms at the moment. I'm sure that could be the next step, is that we get some, people that own these prop firms, to do interviews here on this channel as well. But yeah, essentially, I think, the founders, do you like them? You can tell, if they're business people, or are they traders? Are they young? Are they old? Have they been trading for a long period of time, or are they just trying to make a bit of money? Check out all of those things, because from the founders is clearly what the ethos for the rest of the firm is going to be. So I think, if your founder, let's use an example, is just a businessman that's never traded a single time in his life before, you're probably going to find things like hidden shady rules, because they're trying to catch the money from the failed traders. Whereas if you've got a trader, so I'll use one of the examples like the funded trader or Mint Funding. I like those two prop firms, especially because the owners and the co-founders, all traders themselves. So they want good conditions. They want to build up a nice community. They care about it. So for me, founders, check them out. Do you like them? There's loads of interviews on YouTube, so go and watch them before you pay any money to try and get funded with them. Let me have a quick sip of water whilst I think about a few of the other points. So the next one I've got is the style of trading, okay, with your account. So when finding a prop firm, clearly within the prop firms, there's loads of different models, there's loads of different accounts, okay? This is how the prop firms are, distinguishing themselves, diversifying themselves. And, they've got loads of different account models. So one of them is, just for an example, you've got instant funding, okay, or you've got the evaluation programs, okay? A lot of the prop firms have this sort of structure. So instant funding is where you can pay a larger fee, a lot larger of a fee, typically 10 times the amount as you would for a challenge. But from day dot, you get given those credentials and you've got a live funded account, okay, which can suit a lot of people. If you're an established trader, you've got great risk management, you've been trading for a long period of time, instant funding can be great because it can mean that you can just get straight to it, okay? But if you're like myself and you don't want to spend all that money on an instant funded account and you can just go through the evaluation stage and you're not in a rush to get the capital, I'm not in any particular rush to get more and more capital because trading on the personal account is fine at the same time. But the evaluation, it can take up to a couple months to get through, stage 1, stage 2. But, the fee is significantly less. You're looking at $450, $500 for a 100K account. Whereas with an instant funded account, you're roughly looking at like 4,000. Of course, that's going to vary between all the different firms and the funds, but that's what we're kind of looking at, 10 times the amount of money. So check out whether you want instant funding, evaluation, what suits you. Same time, also the style of trading. Okay, some of the accounts are swing accounts. So FTMO, if I use them as an example, they've got a swing account and they've got a normal account. The swing account, suits traders that are swing traders, okay, that they hold their positions over weeks, months. You can weekend trade, well, not weekend trade, but you can hold positions over the weekend. Whereas, the other models, you have to have, just the standard normal model, you've got to have your positions closed at the weekend. So think there we go. Think about things like that, yeah? Whether you want a swing account, whether you want a normal account, what suits you. So that's another thing to look into and consider. Now, there's loads of other models out there. I can't go through them all, of course, but check out all of their models on their websites, okay, and see what suits you and your style of trading. Next thing, okay, is the community. Of course, the community is really important. For me, this is something that is very different between all of the prop firms, okay? Now, if I look at some of the bigger prop firms in the game and the more established ones, I'd say they've actually got worse communities than some of the newer ones. The newer ones are, focusing on building a real fan base around their funding programs. The Funded Trader is a great example. I'll use them again. They've got a brilliant Discord. I love the Discord, channel. I'm inside it. People are talking every single day. They've got loads of different channels, and they break down everything really, really clearly. They've got great customer support on there. They've got, their funded group chat as well. So, you can talk to other funded traders. And linking on to the next thing, which I think is really important, is that they've also got payout channels where they have 4-figure, from memory, they've got 4-figure payouts, they've got 5-figure payouts and 6-figure payouts. So every single payout that they give out, they send a screenshot into that channel, everyone can see. And they've got, of course, now hundreds of payouts, if not thousands, which you can see, you can take a look at. It's just credibility. It's just proof, that their system works, it's sustainable, it's good. Which, of course, is really, really important. You don't want to sign up to something if you don't think you can even get paid out from it. So another sip of water. But yeah, essentially, community is really important. You know, FTMO, I'm going to use them as an example. You know, they're brilliant in many regards. I'm funded with them. I like them a lot, but they don't have the same level of community. So it's something to consider. If you're a newer trader and you want a community, that might be better for you to go with someone that, you know, a prop firm that has got a community, you know, spirit, vibe, means you can speak to other traders, you can learn from other traders. Whereas if you don't really care about that, let's say you're an established trader and you're just looking for a bit more capital, you don't want to talk to people all day, it doesn't matter to you, then FTMO is absolutely fine. It's perfect because, you know, you wouldn't need it anyways. So moving on to the next thing, as I just said, payouts, super important. You know, check for payout proof. You know, FTMO, for instance, have got a massive YouTube channel, you know, which is growing rapidly every single day, but they've got, you know, live interviews with, you know, some of the biggest payouts that they've given out. You know, it's brilliant social proof. My Forex funds, they've also got loads of, you know, trading volume going through them and payout proof as well. You know, all of the ones that I mentioned at the start of the video have got lots and lots and lots of payout proof. But some of the newer ones, you know, you don't see it as much, and you want to know that they're paying out, you know, consistently on a daily basis. The next one, leverage. Okay, so leverage is super important, and it's actually very interesting. Some of the prop firms a little bit shady with this is that they change the leverage on the challenge to the live account. So you might have 1 to 200 leverage on, you know, the challenge account, but then when you get to the live account, you might have 1 to 100 or 1 to 50 or 1 to 10. Got to check that first. Check that first. Read through their terms and conditions, all of their, you know, policies, everything like that. Check it out. Check out, you know, reviews online, because, you know, leverage. If you are a scalping trader, for instance, you need high leverage. You want to be in and out of the market within, you know, minute candlesticks. And your leverage drops when you're a live funded trader, you can't implement the same strategy you used to pass the challenge in the verification. So it's important to check all of that stuff out. Leverage is crucial key. You know, just look out, do they have consistent leverage? And if they have too lower leverage, for instance, you know, what's the reason behind that? And if they have too low leverage, does it suit your, you know, your trade style, your trade strategy? Does it suit that? And if it does, all good. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. That's the video. You know, hopefully that's provided a bit of value to everyone that's watching it and got this far. If you have and you liked the content, all that sort of stuff, feel free to subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff. Comment if you've got any other questions. I'll respond to every single one of the comments down below. And at the same time, if you want to join the community and you want a place to talk to other traders, we've got beginner, intermediate, advanced traders. All the links to all of the group chat. You know, group chat's going to be down below. Discord community, Telegram community, Instagram, etc., etc. You know, the website where you can buy all of the different services that I also offer. So yeah, otherwise have a brilliant, fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.